Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Steven. Today I'm going to share with us how you can secure your Android application as a mobile developer. I'm going to be sharing 5 tips. So is it enhancing Android APK security, 5 essential tips. So that is, I'm going to be sharing with us 5 essential ways of how you can secure your Android application. There are several ways. I just decided to pick one of these 5 ways of which you can secure your Android application. So why am I doing this video? Some couple of months, so I work with some group of cybersecurity experts. So I developed an application, and that application was sent to them for them to scan and check for vulnerabilities. So after they've scanned and then checked that application, so they discover some couple of vulnerabilities, what can really make the application to be exposed to hackers, and that could jeopardize and cause a lot of issues for the application and then for the company. So that's why I'm coming on this channel to share with us my experience, and then how I was able to resolve some of these vulnerabilities, some of these issues that was discovered on the application. So the stack I used for the application is I used Ionic and Angular, and then I used Capacitor as well to build the application. So I know that even if you are using Android native, you are using React native, if you are using Flutter, I want to believe that this issue I'm going to be sharing is applicable to all, irrespective of the language you are using to build your Android application. Without much ado, let's just go into the presentation. So the first thing, this is the introduction. In this presentation, we'll explore 5 essential tips to enhance the security of your Android application. It is crucial to prioritize security measures to protect user data and prevent unauthorized access. So let's dive into the key strategies for securing your Android application. So the number 1 point we are going to be talking about is code obfuscation. So that's the first thing, code obfuscation. So what does this mean? So implement code obfuscation to obscure the source code, making it difficult for attackers to reverse engineer the APK. This technique helps protect sensitive algorithms and intellectual property from unauthorized access and tampering. Now I'm going to explain this to us now. What this simply means is that when you obfuscate your code, it makes it unreadable, because your APK can be reverse engineered, and I'm going to be showing us how that is done now. So let me just I have an APK here that we can use for demo. So this is an APK, right? So if I want to reverse engineer this application now, this is what I can do. Let's say, for example, I want to see some of the files, some of the code base of this particular APK. What I can do is that I can reverse engineer this particular APK, and this is how to go about it. So the first thing I can do is that I can come here and then I can rename this APK to zip, right? Instead of I can change I'm going to change the extension from APK to zip. So once I do that, it's going to prompt me. I'm going to say use zip. So I can now extract. So I can come here, I can extract this particular APK, right? And then this is it. Once I open this APK now, if I open this, I'm not going to be doing that now. But if I open this particular source code in my VS Code, or you use any text editor of your choice, you can definitely see some of the application. Some of the languages, some of the things that was used to build this particular application. So it makes exposed. So if you don't obfuscate this particular code and you don't make it unreadable, right? This attacker can find sensitive information from this your particular application. So that is the essence of you obfuscating your code. It is super important, and there are so many tools out there. You can use ProGuard. There are some premium paid paid tools that you can use to achieve this as well. So that is the number one thing I want us to know. So it's super important that you do this. So before you build your application, just make sure you obfuscate your code base, especially when you are building applications related to fintech, or you are building applications for a banking system and the likes. So it is important you do this, because once they reverse engineer your code, they can easily see your code base. Some secret keys you even put inside your application, they can easily find this. So it's important you do this. Okay, what's the second point we'll be talking about? So the second point here is secure network communication. Secure network communication. So what does this mean? So employ secure network communication protocol such as HTTPS to encrypt data transmitted between the Android application and backend server. So this safeguards sensitive information from interception and unauthorized access during transmission. So what this simply means is that instead of you using HTTP, right, make sure your application is running on HTTPS. And I'm going to show us now how you can enforce, how you can make sure that your application use HTTPS. So how are you going to do this? So what you can do is that inside your config file, in Ionic we have what's called config file. I know this is similar to other programming language as well, or other language you want to use to build your application, right? So inside your config file, this uses clear text traffic. Ensure you put it to false. So maybe when you are developing, right, it can be set to true, but the moment you want to move your application to production, that is when you want to deploy it to Play Store, just make sure that you change this clear text traffic in your config file to false, because what this is doing is that it's going to ensure that anytime you want to make a request to your backend, that backend must be run on HTTPS. It must be on HTTPS, right? So, okay, so this ensure that your application, once you set it to false, this ensure that your application run on HTTPS. So it's super important you do this. So yeah, what is the next point we are going to be talking about? So the next point we are going to be talking about is app signing and integrity verification. This is also super important. This is the point number 3. Point number 3. So app signing and integrity verification. So leverage app signing and integrity verification mechanism to ensure that the APK has not been altered or tampered with. Because normally, if you want to, even before you deploy your application to Google Play Store, you have to sign that application. Now, where this comes in is that now, from Android 6 downward, right? You can sign your application using V1. Yes, the V1 scheme now. But coming from, I think Google see a kind of discrepancies in that V1. That is why starting from from Android 8 upward, you can use the V2, which is more secure than the V1. So it's important. Anytime you want to sign your application, you have to specify that you want to use the V2 to sign your application, right? So by verifying the integrity of the APK, developers can prevent the installation of modified or malicious versions of the application. So before anybody can say you want to, as I've said earlier, before you can put your application on Play Store, that application must be signed. So, but make ensure that you used the V2 to sign that application. It's really, really important. So if you are enjoying this video, please kindly hit the like button, and then if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. So let's go to the point number 4 now. So the point number 4 is encrypting sensitive data. Encrypting sensitive data. So encrypting sensitive data is crucial practice for protecting users' information and ensuring the security of your Android application. So yeah, it is super important that you encrypt sensitive data. For example, the username, the password of your users, because easily I can easily inspect. Let's say I want to make an API call, right? Easily from the browser, I can inspect the payload I'm trying to send to that particular endpoint. So, but if it's encrypted, it is going to secure that particular payload. So you have to make sure that every sensitive data that you are putting inside your application or that you are sending to the backend, right? Make sure that those data are encrypted. So data encryption transforms readable data, plain text, into unreadable format, ciphertext, using a cryptographic algorithm. So there are many ways you can achieve this. There are many tools, there are many packages, library out there that you can use to encrypt your data so that it's not going to be readable for anybody. And with this, it's going to help you to secure your application. So the last point we are going to be talking about is root detection. This is super important. So the root detection is very important. So detecting if a device is rooted can help prevent potential security breaches, because if a device is rooted, right, and then they installed your application is installed on that device, it make it vulnerable for attacks, right? Because they can easily see different things on that your particular APK. Sensitive data get exposed and a lot of issues like that. So tools like rootbeer can help you with this. So rootbeer can also help you to, there are so many. For example, if you are using Ionic, for example, Cordova have a plugin for that, a root detection plugin for that can easily help you to achieve this. So I'm going to make a recap again. So the first thing we've talked about today is we talk about the code obfuscation. That you must obfuscate your code. It's super important. So, and this is going to make it difficult when they reverse engineer your APK, like just what I showed us the other time. It makes your code unreadable, make it difficult for anybody to extract sensitive data from your application. So that's the first thing we talk about. So we talk about secure network communication as well. So that is, you have to enforce that your application run on HTTPS when you want to move your application to production. So, and I've showed us that how you can achieve this. Just make sure you set the clear text traffic to false when you want to deploy your application. So, and then the other one we talk about is the app signing and integrity verification. That is, when you want to sign your application, make sure it's on V2. You use the V2 scheme to sign your application. You can just make a research, Google it on how you can sign your application using the V2, right? So it's super important you do this as well. So, and then encrypting sensitive data. Yes. So before you make send a request to the backend, a sensitive data, or you want to keep some data in your application, or you want to save some data in the local storage of your device, make sure that those data that you want to save in the local storage are encrypted, so that by the time they reverse engineer your application as well, it becomes difficult for them to be able to understand and then to decrypt that particular information. It's super important. And then the last one we spoke about is the root detection. This is important too. So you can use the packages out there too, the rootbeer for Cordova. Cordova have a plugin for if you are using Ionic, but I don't know of React Native and Flutter, but I believe those guys as well will definitely have libraries, tools that can help you to achieve this. So yeah, in conclusion, enhancing the security of Android APK is imperative in safeguarding user data and maintaining the integrity of your applications. By implementing these 5 essential tips discussed in this presentation, developers can fortify their Android applications against potential security risks and unauthorized access. So guys, if you have really enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and then if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, kindly hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be ditching out interesting and educative videos like this. So thank you so much for taking your time to watch. Thank you so much. Bye.